Okay. Hello, everybody. Hopefully this works. Okay. Hello, everybody. Hopefully this works. All right, awesome. So it seems like it's working. For everybody that is going to, that has been watching our Facebook streamings for Rising Wednesday, we are slowly starting to transition to the YouTube platform. So please make sure that you keep that in mind. And with that said, today's going to be just a quick test as well as just a quick Rising Wednesday on how to submit proposals to conferences. We know we have the Pre-Health Dreamers Conference coming up in June. We'd love to see some proposals get submitted and start the ball rolling with that. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and show you what an example of a proposal would look like for a science conference for STEM. And you can also transition this into what I'd like to call a humanitarian human rights activism conference. All right, so what we see here is the outline of the title. Okay, the title in this case for this draft is the development of bioinformatics plasmid search for a specific type of bacteria. Okay, so what I want you guys to take away from this is not necessarily the idea that it has to be wordy, it has to be the science behind it. What I want you guys to take away is the title goes first in any proposal, so that should be pretty self-explanatory. The next thing here I want to show you guys and draw your attention to is the author section. Okay, so this section right here is where all your authors will be for your proposal. All right. And then the next thing I want to show you guys is the introduction. Now, granted, if you have, let me back up here a little bit. If you guys have co-authors that are in certain centers, for example, in this case, we have a lot of co-authors that work in various departments, whether governmental, academic, or private. You want to make sure you list where they're working, okay? So their affiliation. The proposal has 4 and 5 basic sections: the introduction, the purpose, the methods, the results, and then the significance. The introduction should be 1 sentence. The purpose should be 1 sentence. The methods can be longer, but try to keep it on the relatively smaller side. Get to the point, right? When people are reading these proposals, they don't want to, kind of go on and on about how they are, they don't want to go on and on. They have millions of proposals to read. So please, make it concise, make it brief. The second thing is the results. Okay. The results varies upon how many results you've got, but at the same time, keep it to the most relevant results that you are proposing for. So in this case, they're proposing for a plasmid search engine. So the results here are just going to be relevant to the program that they made. And lastly is the significance. So this is kind of like your conclusion. You're tying it back to why is it relevant for that specific conference for this work to be shown, right? So if you're going to a humanitarian conference or a public policy conference, please make sure you apply and you appeal to the mission of the conference, okay? So that's really the idea behind that. Kind of like your conclusion, you're tying it back to why is it relevant. All right, now let's go to what this would entail as a poster for a conference. Okay, so you've made your proposal. It gets approved by the conference agency that you submitted it to. And now we're looking at the the idea of what a conference would look like here. Okay, so I'm going to take a quick look here and make sure that this is working perfect. So this is the kind of word vomit, if you will, for your proposal. This is where you're going to go into a little bit more depth with it. So I'm just going to take you quickly through kind of the similar areas that we just talked about with the proposal, but how it differs with a poster, okay? So the first thing you'll notice is the title is up here, right? The authors are here, and the same idea of the affiliations of the authors, but just kind of organized in a different manner. You have your abstract, so this is by verbatim, just copy and paste from the proposal you made. Now, various conferences will have different word limits. You check with your conference for word limits per section. Now, something different with a poster is the addition of a background. You have a little more landscape to work with, and usually people that are not in your field are going to need some kind of introduction to understand more about the bacterium, or in whatever case you're studying. Okay. Next thing we have here is the results. So the results can be varied out, but if you've noticed, we start first with the introduction on the left, and we make our way top left down and consecutively go towards the right. All right, excuse me. I had to go get a tissue. All right, as we keep going down, you'll notice that the methods and the results all share similar landscape and posters. And if you're working with a governmental agency, a private pharmaceutical, or if you are patenting your work in whatever STEM or non-STEM field you do, you have to have a disclaimer at the bottom. All right. And then as we move towards the right, we'll notice that the results are also up here, conclusion, acknowledgments, another additional thing that we see in posters that we don't see in proposals. And last but not least, your references, another addition, okay? And of course, have your contact information at the bottom. So I just wanted to make a quick kind of overview of what a proposal might look like for a conference. And give you guys a heads up on that. Okay, and so with that said, I'm going to wrap up our first stream. It was a little bit short, but this is our first test stream. We wanted to make sure things are working on the back end, so please kind of, look forward to more pre-health dreamers rising Wednesdays in the future days to come, future weeks to come. And please let us know in the comments what kind of topics you guys might be interested in. And please don't forget that we have our second annual conference coming up for PH Dreamers, June 25th, I believe. So if you guys want to submit a proposal, please go ahead and do so. And with that said, I'm going to end the stream now, and I wish you guys the